I want to share with you a story about my journey, how I faced immense challenges, and how, despite everything, I found a way to keep moving forward. There are moments in life when the obstacles seem too big, when every step forward takes more effort than you think you have. In those moments, the difference between achieving greatness and falling short is all in how you respond to adversity. This isn't just about success. It's about what you learn along the way. My story is a testament to the power of persistence, commitment, and an unwavering belief that no matter how tough things get, the only direction to move is forward. It's about embracing hardships, using them as fuel, and pushing beyond limits. I hope that by sharing my story, you find something here that can help you when the going gets tough. Because in the end, success isn't built when things are easy. It's forged when we overcome what's hard. My journey is a powerful reminder that success doesn't come without sacrifice. It requires an unrelenting work ethic, a deep sense of purpose, and the ability to face and conquer fears head-on. The road to greatness is often paved with obstacles, and those obstacles are what ultimately shape who we are. This is what I've learned through my own experiences. My life is a masterclass in resilience. Each hardship, each setback has been an opportunity to grow stronger. When your back is against the wall, the only way is forward, and that's the mindset that has shaped my entire career. Let me take you through some key parts of my story that I hope can guide you on your own journey to greatness. My story begins at 3:45 a.m. with a relentless schedule that embodied the phrase, "strong start, strong finish." For me, the early mornings weren't just about physical training. They were about setting a tone for the rest of the day. Every single step, from cardio at 4:45 a.m. to hitting the gym by 6:15 a.m., was a reminder of my commitment to pushing beyond my comfort zone. There is no replacement for hard work. I wanted to make something of myself, something that would stand the test of time and leave a mark. Instead of telling people what they should do, I always try to share what worked for me, in the hopes that maybe someone else might find value in it. You've heard it 1,000 times. You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. But for me, that belief is deeply rooted in remembering where I came from. I remember the tough times vividly. I remember being evicted from my home when I was 14, moving to Nashville, and getting arrested multiple times by the time I was 16. I remember losing my NFL dreams when Warren Sapp took my starting spot at the University of Miami. Those memories keep me grounded. They remind me of where I started. Life kept throwing curveballs, each one more challenging than the last. I remember the days in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, struggling to get by on $250 a week. When I eventually got cut from the team, my dad drove from Tampa to Miami at 4 a.m. to pick me up. I was 23 years old, supposed to be living my dream, but instead I was back in my parents' little apartment in Tampa. I opened my wallet that day and found a $5 bill, a $1 bill, and some change, $7 in total. That was my reality. I was at rock bottom with no clear way forward. But I didn't let that feeling of defeat break me. Instead, I let it fuel me. I told myself, my back is against this wall, and there's only one way out of this. That urgency drove me, whether it was in my acting career, my workouts, or my everyday life. I approached everything with an angry focus. Not the kind of anger that destroys, but the kind that fuels your hunger to succeed. When I decided to leave wrestling and pursue Hollywood, it was a risky move, and many people questioned it. I was on top of the wrestling world. I was a superstar, and I walked away from it. For a while, it looked like I'd made the wrong choice. My movies weren't performing well, and I was struggling to break through. But I knew I had to commit fully. I kept reminding myself of those tough times, getting evicted, losing my spot, struggling in Canada. Those memories grounded me. They reminded me that failure wasn't the end, it was just a step on the journey. One thing that has always kept me going is having an anchor, something that keeps me focused and motivated no matter what. For me, that anchor was waking up at 4 a.m. every day, putting in the work, and making sure that nobody, no matter how talented, would outwork me. I always say, it all starts with these two hands. The power to succeed is within us if we're willing to put in the effort. One of the toughest moments of my career was my final wrestling match with John Cena in 2013. We had planned a 45-minute match, and it was grueling. At that time, I was juggling my wrestling commitments while shooting movies like Fast and Furious 6. The physical demands were intense. During the match, I tore my adductor and part of my quad completely off my pelvis. The pain was excruciating, but I refused to quit. I walked out of that ring on my own. Not because I wasn't hurt, but because I was determined not to let that injury define me. Adversity is temporary. When you face setbacks, when people doubt you or write you off, it's up to you whether you let those moments define you or push you forward. You have to be the hardest worker in the room. Failure is inevitable, but it's how you respond that matters. The setbacks I faced, losing my football career, dealing with injuries, they became the fuel that drove me. When things go wrong, it's important to remember where you came from and use that memory as motivation. Another important aspect of my journey is surrounding myself with the right people. Success isn't achieved alone. I had my family, my teammates, and my mentors, who all played crucial roles in my development. They kept me grounded, especially during the tough times. The power of community and having people who believe in you is invaluable. When you struggle to believe in yourself, those people lift you up. I also believe in the power of continuous improvement. After my initial struggles in Hollywood, I had to reinvent myself. I took on roles that showcased my unique talents, and I worked tirelessly to improve my craft. Complacency is the enemy of progress. If you want to stay at the top, you have to keep evolving. This mindset has been key to my success in both wrestling and acting. Gratitude has also been a guiding principle for me. No matter what hardships I faced, I never lost sight of how far I'd come. I practiced gratitude daily for the opportunities I had, for the people who supported me, for the journey itself. No matter how successful I became, I always remembered the kid with $7 in his pocket who was determined to make something of himself. In your own life, commit fully to your goals. Find that anchor that keeps you grounded. Remember that hard times are not the end, they're just the beginning. Whether it's waking up earlier than everyone else, or putting in the extra work when no one else will, those actions are what set the foundation for greatness. When you face obstacles, let them remind you of how far you've come and how much further you can go. Success isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up, no matter how many times you're knocked down. Keep your head up, keep your back against the wall, and keep moving forward, because that's the only direction worth going. Visualizing success has always been a big part of my journey. Even when the goals seemed out of reach, I kept a clear vision of what I wanted to achieve. I imagined myself as a successful actor, even when roles were scarce. That visualization fueled my actions, kept me focused, and helped me push through the tough times. If you can see it in your mind, you can make it happen. Embracing failure is also crucial. I've faced many failures, from being cut from the CFL to setbacks in Hollywood, but I didn't let those failures define me. Instead, I used them as lessons. Failure is not to be feared. It's a stepping stone toward success. Each setback taught me something valuable, and ultimately it's the failures that have led me to my greatest successes. Putting in the reps, day after day, even when I didn't feel like it, has been key. Whether in the gym, the ring, or on a movie set, success comes from consistent effort and repetition. It's not glamorous, and it's not always fun, but it's the only way to achieve lasting success. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to put in the work consistently. Staying authentic has also been vital. In Hollywood, it's easy to lose yourself, but I stayed true to who I am. I didn't try to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. I focused on being the first Dwayne Johnson. I embraced my unique qualities, my charisma, my humor, my physicality, and used them to carve out my own path. Authenticity is what connects us to others and makes our success meaningful. Finally, giving back is an essential part of true success. No matter how much I've achieved, I haven't forgotten where I came from. Using my platform to inspire, uplift, and help others has always been important to me. True success isn't just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about how you use your success to make a positive impact on others. No matter how far we go, we should always look for ways to lift others up. The journey to success is never a straight line. My journey was filled with countless setbacks, painful moments, and times when it seemed like everything was falling apart. But what sets me apart is my resilience. The way I used every obstacle as a stepping stone to push myself further. When your back is against the wall, don't despair. Instead, see it as an opportunity to move forward with no option to retreat. Life will throw challenges at you, but it's your response that defines who you are. Take a page from my story. Commit fully to your goals. Find that anchor that keeps you grounded. And remember that hard times are not the end, but rather a beginning. Whether it's waking up earlier than everyone else, or putting in the extra work when no one else will, those actions set the foundation for greatness. And when you face those inevitable obstacles, let them remind you of how far you've come and how much further you can go. Success isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up, no matter how many times you're knocked down. So keep your head up, keep your back against the wall, and keep moving forward, because that's the only direction worth going.